DETV News is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
Tonight, cleanup is underway now of a spill at the Port of Wilmington. Plus, a Milford area candidate is asking for a recount. And Dover 911 operators assist a sinking ship about 1,000 miles away. We'll have that story and much more coming up tonight on DETV News. Good evening and welcome to this DETV News Brief for Thursday, September 12th, 2024. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks for being with us this evening. Here's what's making headlines today across the first state. We begin tonight in New Castle County, where officials are working to contain up to 8,400 gallons of oil that spilled from a barge at the Port of Wilmington into the Delaware River. The spill, which occurred in the Christina River, has prompted the Coast Guard to halt traffic in the area. Cleanup crews have deployed a barrier to prevent further oil sheening. The spill happened during a fuel transfer from the Buckeye terminal. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and other agencies they're helping attributed the incident to operator error. And in a significant diplomatic gathering, President Joe Biden will host the leaders of Japan, India, and Australia for the Quad Leaders Summit on Saturday, September 21st, right here in Wilmington. The summit, originally slated to take place over in India, marks the first time President Biden will welcome foreign heads of state to his home city as president. The Quad, an informal alliance formed to bolster security and cooperation in the Indo-Pacific region, has taken on greater significance amid escalating geopolitical tensions. As the group's importance grows, the decision to hold the meeting in Biden's hometown speaks to the close personal ties that he shares with leaders of Japan, India, and Australia. The Quad has met several times for its formal establishment. The first summit was held at the White House back in 2021. Since then, the group has focused on issues ranging from security to infrastructure development in the Indo-Pacific region, with particular attention on countering China's growing influence. To election news now, a Republican primary candidate for the Milford area seat in the Delaware's House is calling for a recount. Patrick Smith fell to incumbent Brian Shoup by just 12 votes. State law mandates a recount when the margin is 1,000 votes or 0.5%, whichever is lower. Smith trailed by 11 votes Tuesday night, but an additional absentee vote was added Wednesday, and it widened Shoup's lead to 12 votes. Smith is demanding a recount today, including a review of all ballots and envelopes, citing the narrow margin. In his statement, Smith says, quote, "A recount is the most transparent way to ensure confidence in the results." Meanwhile, only one race, Wilmington City Council's 1st District, met the automatic recount threshold, with Kobe Owens winning by 8 votes. The Department of Elections will certify results and conduct audits and meetings set for this Friday. And the Christina School Board remains deeply divided today, further evident in Tuesday's meeting, with key votes splitting along familiar lines. The board approved a contract for interim superintendent Robert Andrzejewski, who will start in October after obtaining proper licensure. The vote passed 5-1, with tensions continuing over the removal of Superintendent Dan Shelton. A contentious atmosphere prevailed, particularly surrounding board member Naveed Bakir's virtual attendance from Pakistan, which raised residency concerns. Efforts to challenge Bakir's eligibility failed as some members defended his participation. The board's internal conflict, alongside escalating public scrutiny, has prompted discussions about seeking external conflict resolution services. And 4 Delaware men have been charged in an international sextortion and money laundering scheme targeting victims in the U.S., Canada, and the United Kingdom. The defendants, 4 Wilmington men aged 22 to 31, allegedly posed as young women online to lure young men into compromising situations, recording explicit material without their knowledge. The group then threatened to release the images unless paid, amassing nearly $2 million. Authorities said the scheme involved online platforms and payment services like Cash App and Venmo. Charges include conspiracy to commit cyber stalking, money laundering, and wire fraud. If convicted, each of the men face up to 20 years in prison. And a Lincoln, Delaware woman has died from her injuries after being shot by her husband. Denise Mosley was shot Sunday at her home on Deer Creek Drive, along with her 20-year-old son, who is recovering. She died Monday. Her husband, 52-year-old Nicholas Mosley, is now in custody with updated charges now pending. He currently faces multiple felony charges, including attempted murder, assault, and firearms offenses. State police are currently investigating. Anyone with information about this is asked to contact detectives at 302-365-8441, or you can contact Delaware Crime Stoppers online. And a civil lawsuit claims a Delaware man was shot in the head by police during a chaotic pursuit of a suspect on Interstate 95 back in 2022. 38-year-old Gerald Ettergott alleges he was hit as officers fired at Jonathan Wiseman, who had carjacked multiple vehicles and engaged in shootouts with police. Ettergott was treated for a skull fracture with a bullet fragment lodged in his head. His attorney, Rayanne Warner, says they've been denied information about who shot him, citing an ongoing investigation. He is seeking damages while authorities have yet to release findings on this incident. Wiseman was killed in the shootout. And organizers of Townsend's 7th annual Weedstock Festival anticipate their largest crowd yet, aiming for 3,000 attendees, up from the usual 1,800 attendees. Cynthia Ferguson, the event manager, credits the expanded 3-day lineup, which runs September 13th through 15th at Firebase Lloyd, with Sunday now hosting a full roster of performance acts. These acts include Lowercase Blues, Shiz Nitty, and the Full Carbon Getup. This year's festival offers new features, including an upgraded sound system, lasers, and a 10-foot moon installation. Weedstock benefits Delaware's NORML, advocating for cannabis law reform. Since Delaware legalized recreational marijuana in April of 2023, Ferguson notes decreasing stigma, expecting further normalization once dispensaries open in 2025. And before we sign off tonight, a frantic 911 caller dialed from Albania, desperately seeking help for his brother, whose boat was sinking in the English Channel. Though 1,000 miles away, he connected not with emergency responders in Dover, England, but instead with a dispatcher right here in Dover, Delaware. Operators Mackenzie Atkinson and Connor Logan sprang into action, coordinating with international authorities within 15 minutes. Rescuers in England were en route to the vessel. The occupants were luckily saved. Atkinson and Logan, along with colleagues Patricia Mazzola and Brianna Dozier, ensured the emergency response was smooth, both overseas and here locally. The team has been since nominated for a departmental award. Kudos to them. And that's going to do it for this edition of DETV News. Be sure to follow us all across your favorite social media platforms. And for a look at what's happening all around the state of Delaware, you know where to go, DETVCH.com. And of course, if you want to have a question, drop us a line or a news tip or a sports tip for Nick next week, you can send it to press@DETVCH.com. For all of us here at DETV News, I'm Matt Ford. We'll see you right back here next week. Take care. We don't talk about prostate cancer enough, and it's the most diagnosed form of cancer and the second most common cause of cancer death among Black men in both Delaware and the United States. Approximately 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, but just by asking your healthcare provider if you should get a screening could help you detect prostate cancer early and save your life. So let's talk about it. Talk to your healthcare provider today about a prostate cancer screening if you are 40 years of age or older, or have a family history of prostate cancer. If you don't have insurance, or if your insurance doesn't pay for cancer screenings, Screening for Life may provide you with the screenings that you need, and nurse navigators make this process easier. To learn more, visit healthydelaware.org/prostate or call 211. Ask your healthcare provider about a prostate cancer screening, and you're asking for so much more.
My name is Jason Aviles, and I am the founder and owner of Fly Yogi, and I'm here to share with you some tips to be able to help fight opioid addiction. Opioid addiction is a real growing problem here in America, and I'm here to share with you some tips that you can be able to integrate into your everyday life to really fight against opioid addiction. One of the first things is redeveloping your mindset. One of the practices that I like to use daily is meditation. And what meditation does is it brings you clarity of mind, and it helps keep you grounded, and it improves your ability to make decisions that you are going to benefit from. A lot of the time we find that addiction is rooted in our mindset. It's rooted in how we think and how we perceive, and therefore how we act. So this is a really good way to help fight against that energy of addiction. The second thing is improving your lifestyle through diet and exercise. At the very root of addiction, there is substances within the body that's causing the addiction on a physical level. When we begin to introduce healthier foods, plant-based foods, we begin to remove and detox the substances that are in our body that's causing and attracting the addiction. So through incorporating more fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, and even drinking water on a daily basis, you're going to put your body in a state where it's going to be able to fight the root causes of these addictions. The second part is exercise. Exercise is good for mood. It's good for energy. It's good to increase vitality. It's good to get your heart pumping and get your blood flowing and get oxygen moving throughout the body. So through engaging in physical exercise, complemented by incorporating healthier foods, you're putting your body and your mind in a state where it does not want what's causing these things that are manifesting negatively in your life. So addiction can really be decreased by just incorporating a healthier lifestyle through diet and nutrition, exercise, and then also making sure that you're tackling the mind through mindset, through meditation.